going? My name's Skratch Bastid. You're checking out After the Hour, and I'm going to show you a little something about what I do with a song you've heard before, but never like this. Check it out.
Okay, so here we are. We are in the CBC Vinyl Archives, and I'm here with Paul Murphy, aka Skratch Bastid. Paul Murphy is one of Canada's foremost battle DJs slash rock a party DJ slash producer slash hip hop incarnate.
Yeah, rap guy. Hip hop, whatever. Yeah, just all around. You know, like a jack of all trades when it comes to that rap-ish.
Now, you've won the Scribble Jam 3 times?
Yeah, I won Scribble Jam, which is a competition based in Cincinnati, Ohio, one of the dirtiest cities in the U.S. And it's been going on for about 10 years. And I went down there, competed in it 5 times, and won it 3 times.
And one of the times you won, I believe, using a track from another Canadian hip-hop icon, Buck 65.
Little tidbit of info there. I actually came second that year, not because I didn't win off that, but because I was still pretty young, and that was my best routine, and I faced like a really good guy in the semifinals, and if I didn't use it, then I wouldn't beat him.
Oh, the strategy.
So I had to use it there in order to get it out there. I took a Halifax record from an artist named Buck 65, who we'll talk about later probably, and I turned the notes of that melody into the Imperial Death March, kind of taking what was already made and making something new.
Time is running out, only 30 seconds to go, count 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 only 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds left.
When I was starting to come up, Buck had got more and more busy with his recording as an artist, and he used to work at the magazine shop, and I'd go in and talk to him at the paper chase and stuff like that. And I used to listen to his radio show, and he was a guy that I really looked up to. But I kind of studied, and then I was nipping at his heels, and eventually he got too busy with that other stuff, and I kind of carved out that little DJ niche in Halifax, and that's basically how I got my start, for sure.
Well, and that's since evolved to you've progressed, not past DJing, but now in addition to DJing, you're producing.
Yeah. Well, as far as DJing and production goes, Buck is a DJ producer, and a lot of the other guys that I grew up with in Halifax are DJ producers too. And it just seemed like the next logical step. These guys are all making beats. I should, try it out. And I've always been pecking away at it, and I think that that drive to try to make something out of whatever you had is definitely something that's kind of stuck with me.
So how did it come about that you ended up producing Buck 65's latest album? And what was the pressure like?
It was actually something pretty casual. When it first started, it wasn't like, okay, you're going to produce the record and this is the next major label record for Buck. Not at all. It was like, just some friend stuff that we were doing. Like I sent him some beats and said, hey, do you want to make a song? And the first demos we recorded were actually in my closet in Montreal, in a closet with an untreated microphone, with a bent hanger with a sock over it, and there's 4 demos from that session. And then we kind of like checked it out, and he's like, yeah, I like it, but I think we can do better. And so I was like, okay, well, here's some more beats. Record some demos. He recorded some demos at his house in Paris, and we had this 10-song demo album basically done in that kind of classic Buck style of just like slap the rap down, slap the beat down, go. And that kind of circulated through the people in our circles, and everyone really liked it. And so and then the label heard it, and then they said, well, we really like this, and Buck was needing to put out another record soon, and so he said, like, let's run with this. And so I guess it was just being in the right place at the right time, or just it was really organic, it was so in that sense I didn't really feel too much pressure. As there was this little thing that got thrown in the middle, which was the fact that all the beats were 100% sampled, which is the way that Buck used to make beats, which is the way that I kind of wanted to make like collaboration with Buck. Like I wanted to make like an old Buck record. And so when the label heard that, they're like, oh, well, we can't release anything that has samples on it. And they're like, okay, well, this is how I make beats. So that was where I started to feel some pressure, because I wanted to make sure that I could maintain that kind of gritty record sound, but do it legally.
Yeah, and so you ended up having to go back and remake all of the tracks.
All except 3 songs, and one of which we didn't have to clear because it was like a generic library record that didn't have. It was actually sold to radio stations so that they could use it as a backdrop to their. It's a really crappy record, but it's actually so we didn't have to clear it. We checked it out, and then 2 of them. One which is non-existent in this library, although there's a card for it, so someone else out there probably knows about this record, which is a record called The Image, and then another one which is his new single, Dang, which is actually something that I just did scratches on, that was an old mixtape song of his, where he was just rapping over whole entire songs. Like, it wasn't even just looping things up, he just rapped over the whole entire song. And actually I found the record today, and it is a classic hip-hop record called The Incredible Bongo Band, Bongo Rock. There it is. This is actually basically a super group of rhythm artists and great drummers and percussionists and guitars and stuff. Just basically a record made to be a rhythm record. And Bongo Rock was a really big hit, but Apache, which is on here, is like Kool Herc and Grandmaster Flash and all the pioneers consider it the first hip hop, the definition of the first hip hop song, like break-wise and everything. It was actually recorded in Vancouver. Special thanks to Can Bass Studios in Vancouver for the help and use of their facilities. So
that's a nugget I never knew.
Yeah. So and ironically, the song that we sampled called the song that we rapped over was called Let There Be Drums, and that was the theme music for Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. It was like the tough as nails, dirty wrestling, and it would do the circuit around, Halifax, Truro, Lunenburg, I don't know, hitting wherever they could get, 500 people in a room to watch them beat each other up. So Buck was always kind of drawn to that, and I remember when Buck didn't have this record, he was looking for it, and more than for Apache, he just wanted it for that song, because he's like, it's so tough, and it was the Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling theme music.